The mysterious power of palm markings, what your hands reveal about your destiny. Have you ever noticed a half moon or M-shaped marking on your palm and dismissed it as just another random line? What if I told you this isn't coincidence but a powerful warning? A divine message etched into your skin that ancient wisdom traditions have recognized for centuries. What if these markings are actually spiritual contracts your soul agreed to before birth? Contracts that guarantee both extraordinary gifts and profound challenges that most people will never experience in their lifetime. And what if the reason you've experienced such extreme highs and devastating lows throughout your life isn't random bad luck, but rather a carefully orchestrated divine training program designed to forge you into something extraordinary, something the world desperately needs but few have the courage to become? The mysterious Amor half moon etched on your palm carries a profound truth that transcends mere superstition. This isn't just an interesting pattern or random quirk of nature. It's a symbol deeply embedded in spiritual and esoteric traditions across countless cultures. Throughout history, these markings have been interpreted as divine signatures indicating exceptional leadership abilities, heightened intuition, and natural magnetic influence. In the ancient art of palmistry, these signs are recognized as powerful indicators that you entered this world with a unique energetic vibration, one that naturally draws attention, shifts the atmosphere of any environment you enter, and often unsettles those who operate from fear or who have settled for mediocrity in their lives. The universe has quite literally branded you as extraordinary, marking you as someone who cannot, and should not, blend into the background. But here's what most people don't understand about this gift. It comes with a profound responsibility and often a heavy price. When you walk into a room, you don't simply arrive, you disrupt the existing energy field. Your presence naturally challenges people who have grown comfortable hiding in the shadows of their own potential. Without intending to, you trigger the insecure, awaken those who prefer to sleepwalk through life, and disturb carefully maintained illusions. Without ever uttering a single word, your very existence stirs powerful emotions in those around you: genuine admiration, awe, uncomfortable envy, and sometimes even silent hatred. Have you noticed how some people seem almost magnetically drawn to you? Sometimes to the point of obsession, while others distance themselves with a quiet but palpable hostility. And perhaps most dangerously, have you encountered those who smile warmly to your face while silently hoping for your downfall? This isn't paranoia, it's polarity. This is the natural consequence of carrying a powerful magnetic charge that inevitably tilts the energetic balance of any room you enter. Your ideas are frequently met with both enthusiastic applause and inexplicable resistance. Your personal growth often becomes shadowed by whispers and speculation. Your victories, rather than being purely celebrated, are sometimes followed by subtle acts of sabotage or undermining. Why does this happen? Because individuals marked with the Amor half moon carry ancient archetypes of power within their very being. You function as a living mirror, reflecting back to others what they could potentially become but are often too afraid to pursue. When you shine your authentic light, you inadvertently force others to confront their own shadows. their own unlived potential, their own abandoned dreams. Say yes, you will naturally attract success, unexpected opportunities, and genuine admiration throughout your life, but you will also inevitably attract critics, competitors, and hidden enemies who witness your light and feel threatened by its brilliance rather than inspired by it. The brighter you shine, the more you illuminate not only your path, but also the insecurities of those around you. This doesn't mean you should dim your light or play small to accommodate others' discomfort. On the contrary, it means you must move through the world with heightened awareness, consciously protect your energy field, and be extraordinarily discerning about who you share your vision and dreams with. Develop the spiritual and emotional discernment to recognize that not everyone who applauds your success is genuinely celebrating you. Some are simply clapping to see how high you'll climb before they attempt to pull away the ladder. This distinctive marking on your palm represents far more than a fortunate blessing. It signifies a profound responsibility, a sacred calling, and yes, a serious warning. You were never destined for a quiet, unremarkable life blending into the crowd. You were specifically designed to rise above conventional limitations, to lead others through uncharted territory, to influence collective consciousness, and to face the inevitable storms that accompany that level of power and visibility. Just remember this essential truth: the brighter the flame, the darker the shadows it inevitably casts around it. So walk boldly in your innate power, but never forget that the same magnetic energy that draws greatness into your life will also awaken resistance and opposition. This is the unavoidable price of being marked as extraordinary. You are marked for a life of intense tests and transformative challenges. And if you possess the M or half moon on your palm, understand this fundamental truth: you didn't incarnate into this world seeking comfort or ease. You came for elevation, not just your own, but the elevation of everyone your life touches. These distinctive markings aren't lucky charms or simple fortune-telling devices. They're spiritual contracts literally etched into your physical body as a constant reminder that your soul agreed to a journey far beyond ordinary human experience. The deeper truth is that people with these special signs typically live lives characterized by dramatic extremes, periods of almost miraculous success that feel like divine favor and blessing, often followed by sudden, unexpected falls that shake the very foundation and sense of identity. You may experience rapid ascensions where everything you touch seems to transform into gold, only to face an abrupt betrayal, collapse, or devastating loss that profoundly tests your faith, resilience, and understanding of who you truly are. But recognize that these painful experiences aren't punishment, they're purposeful preparation. The universe isn't attempting to destroy you. It's methodically forging something virtually indestructible within you. You are being systematically trained for a higher purpose that requires exceptional strength and wisdom. And the only way to carry that kind of divine responsibility is to be repeatedly refined through challenge. If you examine your life's journey closely, you'll likely notice a consistent pattern. Just when things begin to stabilize and comfort sets in, a significant shift occurs. A key person unexpectedly leaves your life, A promising opportunity mysteriously disappears, or what seemed like a solid foundation suddenly reveals critical cracks. Why does this happen with such regularity? Because your soul's journey was never designed for comfort and stability. It was designed for continuous transformation. You didn't come here to settle into pleasant routines. You came to evolve beyond conventional human limitations. And genuine evolution is rarely a gentle process. It demands embracing discomfort, shedding outdated versions of yourself, and courageously facing aspects of your being that most people spend their entire lives carefully avoiding. You may experience periods of profound isolation where people you deeply loved suddenly fall away from your life, not because you did anything wrong, but because their role in your soul's story has simply reached its natural conclusion. You'll likely encounter moments where everything external that you relied upon is systematically stripped away, not as punishment, but so that your internal power can fully awaken. In these challenging moments, you may discover that the only resources you have left are your faith, your vision, and your unwavering determination to rise again. And it's precisely in these moments of apparent loss that you will discover your true, unshakable power. The M or half moon marking isn't a guarantee of an easy, comfortable journey. It's a sign that your path will ultimately be legendary. But that legacy must be earned through challenge. The emotional and spiritual tests you face throughout your life aren't random misfortunes. They are carefully tailored for your unique soul's curriculum. They are specifically designed challenges meant to break away what is false within you and strengthen what is genuinely real. Every betrayal you experience teaches you deeper discernment. Every loss deepens your capacity for authentic gratitude. Every setback strengthens the power of your eventual comeback. You weren't chosen for an easy life filled with predictable comforts. You were chosen for a deeply meaningful life, and that meaning emerges through contrast, through experiencing joy and pain, love and loss, clarity and confusion in their fullest expressions. You are the kind of soul who learns not just through intellectual understanding or second-hand information, but through living fully, feeling deeply, and embracing both the beautiful and painful aspects of the human experience. So when the inevitable trials appear in your path, don't curse the refining fire. Embrace it with courage. If you've been marked by the universe with these special signs, it's not because you're fragile or unable to handle difficulty. It's because you possess the rare capacity to become something extraordinary through that very challenge. Let the tests come. Allow the pressure to build. Watch calmly as the world attempts to shake your resolve, because in the end, you won't merely survive these challenges, you will emerge from them unbreakable, unshakable, and unstoppable. And that transformation is precisely what you were born to experience and embody. Beyond these external challenges, if you're marked with an M or half moon on your palm, you possess another extraordinary gift, a rare intuitive capacity that simply cannot be ignored or dismissed. This isn't just an interesting coincidence or quirky personality trait. It's a sacred signal that your inner guidance system was designed with advanced spiritual wiring that most people simply don't possess. People like you don't just process information intellectually. You feel truth vibrationally before it logically reveals itself. You sense others' hidden motives before they're verbally expressed. You naturally anticipate events before they unfold, read subtle energy fields that others remain oblivious to, and receive internal nudges and knowings that seem to emerge from nowhere yet prove to be remarkably accurate. This intuitive gift isn't mere imagination or coincidence, it's genuine spiritual insight, and it's been given to you for a specific purpose in this lifetime. But here lies a significant danger when you doubt these intuitive hits. When you rationalize them away with logical explanations, when you silence that quiet inner voice in favor of external opinions, chaos inevitably follows in your life. If you reflect honestly, you'll likely notice that your most painful decisions, deepest regrets, and most toxic relationships all share one common factor. They came after you consciously ignored your powerful gut instinct. You knew something felt misaligned, but you overrode that knowing with logical reasoning, people-pleasing behaviors, or simple fear of trusting yourself. And each time you dismissed your intuition, you paid a significant price for that dismissal. This happens because for someone with your palm markings, intuition isn't an optional skill or interesting sideline. It's a fundamental part of your soul contract in this lifetime. It's the essential navigation tool you were given to traverse a path that others simply cannot see or understand. When you attempt to live like everyone else, overthinking every decision, second-guessing your natural knowing, or outsourcing your truth to external authorities, your life inevitably spirals into confusion and painful misalignment. But something truly remarkable happens in those moments when you finally trust your intuitive guidance without reservation. Doors that seem permanently closed suddenly open before you. The exact people you need mysteriously appear at precisely the right moment. Timing aligns with uncanny precision, and opportunities begin to flow toward you like water finding its natural path. You begin experiencing the profound sensation of being in exactly the right place, at exactly the right time, doing exactly what you were born to do, because you are finally in alignment with your soul's true purpose. The universe communicates with you through whispers, symbolic coincidences, visceral gut feelings, vivid dreams, and subtle energy shifts that others might miss entirely. Once you learn to tune into these divine messages rather than tuning them out, your life transforms from a confusing guessing game into a divinely guided journey of purpose. That inner radar system doesn't just protect you from harm, it consistently reveals where the true gold is buried in your life experience. As we explore deeper into these mysteries of the marked palm, we'll discover how to properly interpret these signals, protect yourself from those who might drain your unique energy, and harness these gifts to fulfill your highest purpose. The journey of the marked individual is never easy, but for those brave enough to embrace it fully, it offers rewards beyond ordinary imagination. The hidden power of intuition, your divine guidance system, as we've discovered, that mysterious M or half moon marking on your palm connects you to extraordinary intuitive powers, but this gift requires courage to fully embrace. Your intuition isn't just a random feeling or occasional hunch. It's your personal superpower. your direct line to divine wisdom that most people spend lifetimes searching for. You have to be willing to make the bold, sometimes uncomfortable choice to say no to opportunities that look perfect on paper but feel misaligned in your spirit. You must develop the courage to walk away from relationships with people who check all the logical boxes but create that subtle disturbance in your energy field that you can't quite explain. You need to trust yourself enough to make decisions that might seem irrational to others but feel undeniably true in the deepest parts of your being. This is how your intuitive guidance system operates, not through loud, obvious signals, but through subtle whispers that require presence and attention to detect. The universe rarely shouts its messages. It communicates through gentle nudges, symbolic coincidences, and that quiet knowing that emerges from your core. And when you finally surrender to this inner wisdom, you'll notice yourself moving through life with greater speed, strength, and clarity than you ever thought possible. So if you're marked with this special sign, understand this fundamental truth. Your intuition isn't just a random feeling to consider alongside logical analysis. It's your most powerful navigational tool. Ignoring these intuitive hits is essentially like walking through a dark, unfamiliar forest while holding a powerful flashlight in your hand but refusing to turn it on. Why would you choose to stumble blindly when you've been given everything you need to see clearly? Trust this extraordinary gift you've been given. Sharpen it through regular practice and meditation. Protect it by creating boundaries with people and environments that cloud your inner knowing. And above all, follow where it leads, even when, especially when, it guides you toward paths that seem unconventional or challenging. Because the truly extraordinary life you're meant to live isn't constructed through logical planning and conventional thinking alone. It's built through energetic alignment with your highest purpose. And that alignment begins the precise moment you stop doubting your inner voice and start honoring it as the divine truth it truly is. Your intuition isn't just suggesting possibilities, it's revealing your destiny. You're meant to break generational cycles, not mindlessly repeat them. If you carry the distinctive mark of a half moon or an M on your palm, you were never destined for a life of quiet repetition or inherited limitation. You didn't incarnate to fit neatly into the restrictive mold your ancestors were forced to accept. You're here to shatter those outdated patterns completely and forge an entirely new path. This marking isn't merely decorative or coincidental. It's spiritual evidence etched into your physical form, confirming that your soul entered this lifetime with a sacred mission to disrupt the generational patterns, toxic beliefs, and emotional legacies that have been silently passed down through your bloodlines for generations, perhaps even centuries. You are the designated truth teller in your family system, the one who courageously sees what others desperately deny, feels what others habitually numb, and questions what others passively accept without examination. You notice the dysfunctional dynamics at holiday gatherings that everyone pretends not to see. You feel the unspoken grief that lingers in family photographs. You sense the buried secrets that shape behaviors no one wants to discuss. But herein lies a significant danger that many marked individuals fail to recognize. when someone specifically designated to be a cycle breaker attempts to live a conventional, normal life, everything in their world begins to mysteriously collapse. Have you experienced persistent mental unrest that doesn't respond to typical treatments? Faced sudden, inexplicable setbacks just when success seems certain? Fallen into periods of deep emotional suffering that seem to emerge from nowhere? These challenges aren't evidence that you're cursed or broken. They're powerful indicators that you've wandered off your soul's intended course. Your higher self literally rebels against comfort zones and conventional paths that don't align with your deeper purpose. It's as if your soul has an internal alarm system that activates whenever you try to settle for less than what you came here to accomplish. Many individuals who bear this special marking eventually fall into depression, addiction, or patterns of failure, not because they lack strength or capability, but precisely because they're attempting to suppress their authentic calling in favor of societal approval and conventional success. They desperately try to walk paths that were never meant for their unique spirit. And this fundamental misalignment literally tears them apart from the inside. You weren't born to follow established rules without question. You were specifically designed to confront uncomfortable truths, challenge dysfunctional systems, rewrite limiting narratives, and heal ancestral wounds that no one else in your lineage had the awareness or courage to face. The intergenerational trauma that runs through your family line, it ends with you. The patterns of silence around important truths, the denial of painful realities, the cycles of abuse, neglect, scarcity mindset, or emotional disconnection, they stop with your generation because you have the spiritual capacity to transform them. But let's be honest, breaking deeply entrenched cycles is not glamorous or immediately rewarding work. It's often lonely, painful, and profoundly misunderstood by those around you. You will frequently be labeled as the troublemaker, the black sheep, the outsider who doesn't fit in. Family members might describe you as too sensitive, too intense, or the one who always ruins gatherings by asking uncomfortable questions. This happens because your very existence, your refusal to participate in dysfunctional patterns, inherently threatens the status quo that others have invested in maintaining. Don't let these labels discourage you or make you question your path. Instead, let them awaken you to the importance of your mission. You were specifically chosen to disrupt these patterns, not to destroy family connections or create chaos, but to ultimately rebuild something healthier, more authentic, and more life-giving in place of what no longer serves anyone's highest good. You are the alchemist who transforms inherited pain into meaningful purpose, who converts deep wounds into profound wisdom, and who carries the torch of healing forward into future generations. Yes, you will undoubtedly feel heavy at times, burdened by the weight of both what came before you and what must now be done through you. The responsibility can feel overwhelming when you truly understand its scope, but that weight wasn't placed on your shoulders to break you. It was given to build you into someone unstoppable, someone capable of creating lasting change. And once you fully embrace your role as a cycle breaker rather than fighting against it, you'll discover that your life begins to align in ways that seem to defy logical explanation. The right supportive people will find their way to you. The perfect opportunities will unfold at precisely the right moments. Resources you need will appear almost mysteriously. And most importantly, the generations that follow you, your children, nieces, nephews, and all who come after, will breathe easier and live more freely because of the difficult battles you chose to fight on their behalf. They may never fully understand the gift you've given them, but they will live its benefits every day. So stop trying so hard to blend in where you were meant to stand out. Stop shrinking your authentic self to fit into broken systems that were never designed to accommodate your light. And please, stop apologizing for the sacred fire that burns in your spirit. It's not a defect to be hidden, but a gift to be shared. You were not born to mindlessly repeat the past with all its limitations. You were born with the power to redeem it, to transform it, and to create something beautiful from its ashes. This is your divine mission. This is your authentic power. And the distinctive mark on your palm is your physical proof that you were chosen for this sacred work. As you walk this path of the marked one, you'll eventually face a profound crossroads that will test everything you believe about yourself. You'll be forced to choose between power and peace. This is the silent, inevitable decision point that everyone marked with an M or half moon on their palm eventually encounters, whether they consciously recognize it or not. In the early stages of your journey, your path may feel exhilarating, almost as if some invisible force is propelling you forward with unstoppable momentum. Opportunities seem to materialize from nowhere. People are mysteriously drawn to your presence and energy. Your sphere of influence begins to expand effortlessly, sometimes before you feel properly prepared for it. You find yourself placed in positions of power, authority, or public visibility, often earlier than your peers and sometimes before you feel internally ready for such responsibility. But as your light grows brighter and your impact expands, so does the weight of what you're carrying. You gradually begin to realize that authentic power isn't just about positive impact and influence. It also requires significant sacrifice. There's a spiritual tax that comes with being seen, heard, and followed by others. The more visible you become, the more you become a target for both projection and criticism. The more you accomplish, the higher the expectations placed upon you become. And suddenly, you find yourself standing at a dangerous intersection, caught between two seemingly incompatible paths. One road leads toward greater influence and impact, the ability to create meaningful change in the world, to help others transform, to leave a lasting legacy. But this path forces you into the spotlight where your every word and action is scrutinized and judged, where expectations continuously escalate with each success, and where the pressure never truly subsides. The other path tempts you with the promise of peace, privacy, and self-protection, the comfort of anonymity, the safety of smaller circles, the relief of lower expectations. This route offers protection for your sensitive heart from the exhaustion and complexity that power inevitably brings with it. Many individuals who bear this special marking become lost at this critical juncture, not because they lack courage or capability, but because no one ever warned them that the gift of spiritual influence comes with a profound cost. There's the constant testing of your boundaries as others seek to access your energy and wisdom. There's the pain of being fundamentally misunderstood, envied, and sometimes even attacked by those who misinterpret your intentions or feel threatened by your light. Perhaps most challenging is the weight of carrying other people's projections, expectations, and hopes while simultaneously trying to maintain your own authentic identity and purpose. The pressure to become what others need you to be rather than who you truly are becomes increasingly difficult to resist. If you don't consciously understand the true nature of your mission and establish clear boundaries around it, the world will gladly choose your path for you, and it will almost always choose exploitation. You'll find yourself pushed into roles that gradually drain your life force, used primarily for your gifts rather than valued for your humanity, celebrated for your talents but disregarded as a complete person with needs and limitations. The very power you were given can easily backfire if it's not firmly rooted in clarity, purpose, and healthy boundaries. But when you truly understand why you've been given this influence, when you recognize that your power was never meant to serve your ego but to facilitate service to something greater than yourself, you gain the remarkable ability to walk both paths simultaneously. You stop seeing power and peace as mutually exclusive opposites and start realizing they can beautifully coexist when you lead from an internal place of alignment rather than external validation. You learn to use your voice strategically and wisely, to protect your energy fiercely without apology, and to align every action with your soul's deeper mission rather than others' expectations. This integrated path is not an easy one. It requires constant discernment, regular recalibration, and the courage to disappoint others when necessary, but it is unquestionably a sacred journey, and the distinctive mark on your palm serves as a daily reminder that you were never meant to live an ordinary, conventional life. You were specifically designed to carry light into dark places, but you must also learn to protect that light so it doesn't burn out prematurely. So stand at this crossroads with wisdom rather than fear. Choose your direction not from external pressure but from internal purpose. Don't chase power blindly for its own sake or the ego gratification it provides. Don't retreat into false peace that's really just avoidance disguised as self-care. Instead, find that rare, sacred middle path where influence and authenticity coexist in perfect harmony, because once you fully align your external influence with your internal truth, no force on earth can permanently divert you from your destined path. And that alignment, that perfect integration of power and peace, is the highest expression of the gift marked on your palm. If you found value in these revelations about your palm markings and the extraordinary path they indicate, please support our work by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Your engagement helps us continue sharing these ancient wisdom teachings with others who carry similar markings but haven't yet discovered their significance. Together, we're building a community of cycle breakers and light bearers who understand that their differences aren't flaws, they're divine design. Thank you for being part of this sacred journey.